All right, for this next section of 3.3, we're going to be looking pretty much at the when we're dealing with mass and weight. Okay, now you probably have thought to yourself, hey, aren't those the exact same thing, mass and weight? They're just interchangeable words. They're actually not. So mass is the quantity of matter or the amount of matter that's in an object. So a unit of mass in the SI system is a gram, okay? So it's the gram contained in 1 cubic centimeter. A gram is basically what is defined as water in a cubic centimeter, okay, at maximum density. We generally will use kilogram for mass, but then super large quantities are metric tons. And again, kind of talking a little bit about weight. Weight is the amount of gravity that's being applied on a particular object, okay? So mass is the measure of matter in an object, while weight is the gravitational pull. So that being said, I've got a couple of problems here that you can look at your discretion, but it's kind of the same process that we went through the last time, right? If you look at the conversions between kilograms to grams, it's the same kind of process. So I'll have 1.5 kilograms. I know that 1,000 grams exist or live inside of 1 kilogram, right? That's the conversion unit right there. And when we multiply those things out, you'll notice that 1.5 times 1,000 is going to be 1,500, and we're left with just grams as a result. More kind of I'll call them exotic exotic units or prefixes like this one. This is, if you remember, mu is for micro. So this is 885 micrograms to milligrams. This is one that I wouldn't expect anyone to have memorized, by the way. So if you want, go back and reference that chart that I had in section 3.1, and you can kind of see the difference between micro and milli. That it's really just a factor of 1,000. So I believe that milligrams right here is 10 to the minus 3, and then micrograms is 10 to the minus 6. So the difference between that, the minus 3 to the minus 6, would be minus 3, right? Minus 3 plus minus 3 is minus 6. So what that means is that it's a factor of 1,000. It's basically 3 zeros is kind of the way you can think about it. So what we can do is we can take 885 micrograms and convert it. Now, in all the cases that we've looked at previously, you'll see that 1,000, the bigger number has been on top and the smaller number has been on the bottom. But in this problem, because we're converting from something small to something big rather than something big to something small like we did in the previous example, what we have to do is the relative size of the units is going to be completely backwards. So the larger unit is going to be on top, which means that the larger number is going to be on the bottom, okay? It's kind of back. Once you kind of understand that, it makes a whole lot of sense, but it's tricky just to kind of mentally process that. Okay, wait. Bigger units means that I have smaller numbers versus bigger numbers and smaller units. So it works out. So we're going to divide 885 by 1,000, and effectively what that means is I'm going to move the decimal place from the 5 if we were using the King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk kind of analogy. In the previous sections, what we did was we counted the number of spaces back to whatever unit we were going to, and that's how many digits we moved the decimal place in the same direction. So in this case, we're technically going backwards 1, 2, 3 units. 1, 2, 3 units, we get a smaller 0.885 milligrams. Okay? And I kind of explain that here in this sentence if you want to read it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump into a few examples, and we'll go ahead and just do it up. I got to get my switcher here. Here we go. And I'm not sure what is going on here. Inverted whiteboard. That is supposed to be showing a completely different screen. Hang on just a second. Got to fix my whiteboard properties. That is going to be my display 1. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Fixing all my settings. They all got screwed up when I turned my computer off. All right, so we've got this first question. Okay, question 8. We're converting 1 kilogram, and we're wondering how many grams that is. Okay, so again, the easiest process in this case, because we're using the base units here, is King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, and we're starting on kilograms, which is up here, and we're counting backwards to grams. So the base unit is the grams. So I got 1, 2, 3 right there. That means I'm moving, since I moved here in the right direction, I'm going to move the decimal in the same direction. So I've got 1.123 0, 0, 0. Okay? So in other words, what I've got is 1 kilogram is going to equal 1,000 grams. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Next one. Question number 11. 1 metric ton is equal to how many kilograms? Okay. This is actually one of those units that's just in the notes. I don't know if you saw this, but in the notes it specifically said that 1 metric ton was 1,000 kilograms. So that one's kind of a gimme. So this one's equal 1,000. Okay. If you wanted to, you could go back to the scale. Actually, I don't even think that one's in the prefixes. No, it's not. It's not in the prefixes for the in that chart for section 3.1. So this is one that you probably just have to know, that a metric ton is equal to 1,000 kilograms. Okay. Normally, when we're considering a ton in like imperial units, so the ones here that we're most familiar with in the United States, that would be 2,000 pounds. So 1 metric ton is 1,000 kilograms. It's the metric system is like so much easier if you think about it, because all you do is move decimal places, and it's so much simpler, honestly. 41. All right, so here, this is where things get a little bit more nuanced. We're going to change 270 milligrams to grams, okay? Same idea. King Henry died by drinking chocolate. Oh, man, every single time. It's an M. Okay. You can all laugh at my expense. I'll take it. It's no big deal. Okay. 270 milligrams. So I'm starting here, and I want to go 2 grams. So that means I go 1, 2, 3 units to the left. Okay. So that means that I have 270. 3 units to the left is 1, 2, 3. So in other words, 270 milligrams is going to equal 0.270 grams. Okay. If you wanted to do it the more mathematical way, you would do 270 milligrams, and we'd multiply that by a fraction where the milligrams will be on the bottom because we want to cancel those units out, and the grams would be on the top, and then you just have to figure out the conversion factor in that particular problem. So here I know that 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams, and then you would cancel these things out. Let me do a different color here. So boom, boom. And as a result, I would get 270 divided by 1,000. Grams is what I have, and in this case, it would be 0.270 grams. Okay? So that's effectively the process that you can take on these kinds of problems here. So these are my solutions. All right, let's do another one. So question 45. again, there's a lot of these great questions in the back of the textbook, and some of them actually have answers too that you can click on and open up. And so what I would suggest doing is on some of those questions, it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and just kind of practice them on your own and then just flip those things open. So we've got 375. In this case, it's micrograms. So that's the Greek letter mu. And we're converting that to milligrams. Well, again, just a reminder that micro is 1,000 times smaller than a milli. So to convert this, we'd have 375 micrograms times, in this case, 1,000 micrograms in a single milligram. Okay? And so now it's going to be the exact same process here. We're going to a smaller unit, or a larger unit, I should say, so the number should be smaller. If you're converting from a small unit to a large unit, then the number is actually going to do the opposite. So it's going to go from a big number to a small number. Okay? So this is going to be 375 over 1,000, which is milligrams, which is equal to 0.375 milligrams. All right. Well, that's section 3.3, pretty much. So, like I said, a lot of these sections that we're going to be seeing here in Chapter 3 are going to go pretty quickly. They're all mostly the same topic, but just kind of dealing with, like little differences. So, in this case, we were looking at mass and weight. In the previous one, we looked at, what did we look at in the previous one? See, I've already lost track. The distances, right? And I think the next one is going to be dealing with volume and area. So just slightly different approaches. Okay. That's all I have. I hope you have a great day.